D, wait for it, delightful.
Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
What's up, nerds? So I finished Superman and Lois episode 8 of this season 3. And I just want to say that I don't know what's going on with this season. I feel like it started off it's just going off in a direction that I'm just like, I don't know about you, but I've had enough of and I'm not interested in anymore. Like, and I feel like the showrunners on this show really need to either kick it up a notch or they need to just, stop. Or put a full stop, like put the brakes on, because this show is starting to go over a cliff. And I'm sorry, like they better pull things back around, because I've just had enough. I mean, like, listen, I understand the whole they've got the Lois having cancer thing. And I understand them trying to, pull the tears out of us every episode. But we've gotten to the point now where it's just, I'm like, what's going on here in this season? Like, literally watching this episode, I was just like, I had to stop it and leave and then come back, because it's just not what I signed on for. And this was a show that I was looking forward to every week. And now I'm all like, I'm not looking forward to next week, even though the end scene was it was cool. And we might get some more action stuff that I'm interested in. But in terms of this episode, I was just like, man, you guys did not make me want more of this. Yeah. And like, I also, I'm tired of focusing on these kids, man. Every time I watch an episode of this, I'm just like, man, fuck your kids, Superman. I just want to watch you and Lois, but I'm just like, I don't know, man. Like, I'm just like so not interested in this now. It sucks, but all right, I'm gonna get to this breakdown because I got stuff to do. I got a doctor's appointment and stuff. So, yeah. All right, let's get started on this. But before I do, I just want to say that if you like what I do here and you enjoy independent content here on YouTube, please consider subscribing to my channel. YouTube is always changing up their algorithm, and small channels like mine, we always get shoved to the back of the line. So please ask that you like, share, and subscribe, and I thank you in advance. All right, now that I got that out of the way, let's get started. So Lois is getting some treatment, and she's not feeling well. And she's always feeling cold, which I've always heard that is a thing. You always feel cold. So they're doing some cleaning and stuff, getting some stuff done and everything. Here they're at breakfast. The boys are at breakfast, and the Jonathan's going into the firehouse, and he's like, you don't get paid or whatnot. And he's like, he talks about a shift, and he basically is mocking him for doing something. And I'm all like, don't mock your brother. He had football. You took that away. Like, he had football, and he was like the jock and everything. And you were like the nerd. And then you got superpowers. So you kind of took that away from him. Then he got into football, and you got into football, and you took that away from him. Now he wants to be like a firefighter, and you're trying to be a dick about that. I mean, like, listen, Jonathan was my favorite character. Now I don't know, man. I don't think the actor that's playing him now is doing as good a job. And so he's like, me and Sarah are gonna hang out. And he's like, oh, you are just friends? And he's like, yeah, it's possible, Dad. Look at you and Lana. I mean, it's possible to be friends with a female if you're a dude, but I mean, like, when you're in the mood, though, they're right there. So I mean, stuff gets blurry real freaking quick. Trust me, I know. Anyways, so Chrissy texts him. She's like, I'm headed over, and he's like, good. Lois will want to hear, the story. So back at the firehouse, he comes in with some coffee, and he's like, I got a latte and a cappuccino and stuff. And I'm all like, kid, just put them on the table and everybody will pick theirs up. And he's like, oh, you think you come in here and you're all special and stuff? And he's all like, we gave you your own hook. And I was like, yay for you, little dude. You're a firefighter now. So then she's sitting here talking to Sarah, and she gets a notification on her phone that she's got a concert coming up of The Cure. I just want to say real quick, I'm not a huge fan of The Cure. And Sarah says it later on. They're just a little too sad for me. They're very good, though, in terms of like music wise. I would listen to them if you put it on. And I'd be like, oh yeah, I love The Cure and everything. But The Cure is not like my favorite. They're just a little too sad. I don't like to listen to sad music all the time. Like that's just not my jam. But she's like, I was supposed to go with your dad. And I'm like, how do you forget about a concert to The Cure? Like, if I got concerts to anything, I would remember that. I wouldn't need a reminder. I'd remember it because I'd be like, oh my gosh, we're going to the concert. Anyways, okay, so she's like, you want to go? And she's like, I don't think so, Mom. I don't want to see your old person band. So then back at the Mannheims, she's coughing up, and he's like, Mom, you okay? I heard some coughing. She's like, just some tea that went down the wrong pipes or whatnot. And she's like, I got you a tie for our big date with your girlfriend. Chrissy is laying out her story, and Lois is basically like, no, it reads like gossip rag from a gossip rag, like The Guardian. And she's like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to put this crap out. My name's on this stuff. And so she's like, we're not doing this story. So she's like sitting here and she's like, I'm sick and tired of always feeling cold all the time. Will you make me some chai tea or something, or raspberry tea? And then they have a little combo. I don't remember what they talk about here. I'm sorry. I know, like, don't get me wrong. I still like this show and I want to love this show again, but this episode didn't do it for me. So I was just like, I'm not paying attention to any of this stuff. Like, I literally for once watching the show, I was on my phone because I just didn't care, which is sad. But they did this. I didn't do this. They did this. Anyways, okay. He takes Nat to her date at Maloney's or whatever it's called. And they're all like, this is Natalie. Meet my gangster parents and everything. Chrissy's all upset about her not wanting to do the story. Lana comes in, try to get Clark to go to The Cure with her. And he's like, oh, I can't. I got to, hunt down this story. Chrissy doesn't take the tickets because she's all nervous about her and what's-his-face, Kyle's relationship. So Daddy Lane, he brings over some more files on the Luthor case / the Mannheim case, because Luthor, I guess Lex Luthor, he admitted to killing a bunch of people. But then later on, we'll find out that it was Onomatopoeia who did her little voice thing, and she framed him. So they get a call because there's a fire going on, and he's allowed to come along, but he's got to stay by the truck. Then Jonathan comes in and he blasts through there and he saves this dude. And he's like, I think he inhaled some smoke. He's not breathing. And he flies off. And then he's like, what are you doing, kid? You think you can just beat down a door and save somebody? Fuck you for trying to be a hero, kid. That's my job to be the hero. You're a liability. And he's like, are you firing me? He's like, I don't know yet. And he hands out, and I just want to say, and he tries to tell him he didn't do it. And I go, first off, Kyle, you need to hold it back, calm it down, listen to what the kid has to say. Because if he says he didn't do it, and do you think this kid went into that building and then tore down some doors? Like, did you see that doorway? Hold on, I don't know if I got a shot of it. Yeah, like the doors are completely off the hinges, yo. You think he did that? Like, stop it. So then back at she's like, oh, I wish I had these files from before and everything. And then he gets an alert on his phone because he's got a little J date. And she's like, you have a date? Go on your date, Dad. And he's like, well, we gotta do this case and everything. And she's like, just go to your date, You can only find love once or twice, or for some people, like 5 times. So then they're interviewing this woman. I don't remember her name, but they're interviewing her about Pia and like all this stuff. And she's like, well, I've known her forever. And she's like, yeah, something happened in high school and she got all sad, and Mannheim pulled her through. Okay, so he comes to the restaurant and he missed his date, and it's on this napkin, next time, don't be late. And listen, first off, first date. I don't know if you think that being late on the first date is a red flag. I don't think, but it depends on how late there you are. Like if he was only 5 minutes late, that's not that long. Now, if he was an hour late, that's too long, and she should have left and everything. That's just a no. But like I think my wife was late for our first date, but it wasn't like a tremendously huge amount of time. It was like 5 minutes, and that's not that big a deal, sometimes traffic sucks or whatever. But like I said, 5 minutes, fine. Maybe even like 15 minutes, fine. An hour, that's no good. That's no good. I should have known when my wife was late that was going to be our life for the rest. We were always going to be late after that. I don't know how you are, but I'm a show up 15 minutes early kind of person. So whatever. Anyways, so then he sits down with Lana and she's like, yeah, it was your date, the hottie with the golden locks. We're going to need to run another round of fries. And I was like, fries aren't going to do it, honey, but whatever. So then they're at dinner and they're just chit-chatting away, talking about how she likes robotics and he sleeps in. Nothing special. Then they're listening to The Cure, and Sarah says, they're just so sad. And I'm like, they are pretty sad, Sarah. Then Jonathan comes in. He just walks into Sarah's house. That's rude. You don't do that. I'm sorry. I don't know what kind of house they're raised in. If somebody just walked into my house and I was like, I don't care how good of friends we are, you don't just walk into my house, dude. That's not kosher. He's like, why did you do that? He's like, now I'm in trouble. And he's like, and then he says, he's like, what do you care? You just get their coffee and stuff. You're not even like a real firefighter. And he walks out and she's all like, yo, bro, calm it down. So then they get back and she's all like, oh my gosh, we got some kind of good stuff or whatever. I wonder what it was. And then she comes in and she's like, I needed more room to figure out all this stuff. So then they're sitting here chatting and they basically find out he's talking about, oh, it's hard because I have, when my ex-wife, the mommy lane left, I just thought I wouldn't be with anybody ever again. And she's all like, yeah, she's like, it's hard. And basically they're just lonely. So then he talks to Sarah and she's like, Sarah, she's like, Jordan. She's like, your brother had this firefighter gig and that was his thing. And then you just made him feel like crap about it, that he might lose it. And like, it's nothing, but it's something to him. And I'm like, yeah, you're his brother. Like if something that was really, really important, I wouldn't have joined football like he did. Because that, that was my brother's thing. But if your sibling has something, you go with it. Like my brother, like he does stuff like he used to LARP. Now I think LARPing is ridiculous. But I mean, but it looks like fun. But my brother was into it. I would listen to stupid nonsense about LARPing. And I was like, no, if that's your thing, dude, do it. If it makes you happy and you're not hurting anybody. Although he had like a shield. And like one time he was like, come on, I'll show you what it's all about. And it was kind of fun, but I can't get into all that stuff. I don't have time for nonsense. But he was like, he had this like spear, but it was like, it was like foam or whatever. And he was like jabbing at him. I was like, hey, freaking hurts. You need to calm it down. He's like, you always got to be ready. You always got to be ready and everything. And I was just like, I'm about to like go, a Sauron times 10 on your ass and everything. So anyways, okay. And then he says, hey, your mom just wants somebody to go to the concert with her because she's lonely. And he's like, you should have gone with her. So then they're trying to figure out, they're trying to figure out what's going on because they put Lex Luthor away. So he's talking to his sister of this earth. And long story short, she says, I took her to Maloney's or whatever that restaurant's called. And she's like, that's the restaurant my brother used to go to with Bruno Manhut. And he's like, what? And so there's some stupid wallpaper dinosaur story. He's like, oh, look, your dad's here. And then they all turn around. He's like, oh, crap. Now I got to kill this dude. She's like, Dad, what's going on? And they get the kids out of here. And then they start beating the crap out of him. And he's like, and then so they're listening to this recording of Lex Luthor. And it's him admitting that he killed some people. And Mannheim, like, to get Lex Luthor out of the way, and then Mannheim, took over kind of stuff. But at the end of it, they heard this wah, 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 wah kind of thing. I'm not doing it right. But anyways, and that was onomatopoeia. That was Pia's powers making that noise after she imitated Lex Luthor. So then he's beating the crap out of him. He calls for his suit plummets in, and he's like, oh, the suit. And then the suit plies in and Pia goes into full like banshee mode. And he's like, it's John. So he flies through. It's John Henry. And he gets the suit on, but she blasts him out with her powers. And she's blasting him and she's making the funniest faces. I bet the set that day, like, look at her face. Like, these powers part weren't here. So that it's just her that day going, ah! And everything. And I would have laughed. But she's winning. I look at and everything. So she's winning. Then Superman shows up. He's like, stop. And she's going full banshee on him. Like, she's not even like and everything. And he's all like, what's going on? And then he's like, what the hell's going on with this bitch's throat? Like, look at her throat. It's all getting suction cupped in and everything. And because she's going like full banshee. And then finally she just passes out because she can't handle it anymore. And he x-rays her, and the cancer is like hardcore. I think the thing is probably what's gonna figure, but I think what we're gonna find out is the more she uses her powers, the less her cancer could be cured or whatnot. So then he's like, I got to take her to the hospital now. And so they're left there, and he's like, Dad, and then he runs off, and he takes his daughter Natalie, and they head off. And then so they're in the DOD. She gets put in this thing where her powers are useless, and he's like, is that really, necessary? And he's like, yeah, it's necessary. She's got cancer. And then these two are just chit-chatting, I don't remember. And then Jonathan gets a call from Kyle, and he's all like, there's no way you could have done it because it was a super powered person. And he's all like, did he kick you off? And he's like, no. And he's like, listen, I'm sorry I said that stuff. He's like, it's fine, dude, whatever. But now you need to watch yourself because he thinks some superpowered person saved the town and something's going down. So now he's like, what's going on? And then these two are talking. She's like, listen, we have to give this evidence. Lex Luthor is innocent. And then Kyle's looking at some photos, and it's obvious he used his freeze breath on the fire. And he's like, is Jonathan a super powered person? I'm pretty sure that's what he's thinking. And then he's all like, do I have to give this up because I don't want my brother's secret to get out there? I don't want anybody to know that my brother's a superhero. And then he's trying to call Sarah, and he texts her. By the way, it took me forever to get this shot because they literally put this up and then it was like down the next second. Like it was like 1 second of like and everything. So it says, have you heard from your dad tonight? And she doesn't answer because she's dancing away the night with her mom to The Cure. They show us this, and then these two are arguing, and he's like, no, Dad, forget you, kind of thing. They don't play that and everything, but he's like, no, you're liars. She's crying. He's building stuff. And then we go over to Bizarro in this little lab, and he wakes up. And that's the end of the episode, which was a cool part to end the episode. But I'm like, this episode could have been wrapped up in 10 minutes on the last episode. And it's fine. It's just, I wish they would stop, like, I don't know, man. Like, I'm just, like I said before, this episode was, okay, the writing is not, that's the thing about this show is, the writing's not bad. I'm not saying the writing's bad. It's just super boring. We're going to this like the cancer storyline, which is, I guess, fine, but we just keep going back to this well. And I just go, listen, I need a little less talk now, and I need a lot more action, you guys, because I always felt that this show was really good at balancing the two, balancing the action and the talky parts, the drama. Oh, the drama. But now it's just mostly drama. And even if there wasn't an overwhelming amount of action, okay, pretend there wasn't an overwhelming amount of action. If they went through that Lex Luthor being charged with murder, if they had went with that more and they had kind of like really just like kind of dive deeper into that, I would have been okay with that. I would have been like, this is interesting. Now let's explore this a little bit more. But they're not even going into that, you guys. They're not even going into that. And that makes me go, hey, why am I here with this right now? Like, why am I here for you? Like, it's just, basically like first dates and dance parties, and everybody's sitting in diners talking about their love lives that I don't care about because I'm happy. So I don't know. Like, I just, maybe it's me, maybe it's Maybelline. I don't know. I just know that this episode was very dull, and this show is just getting to the point where I don't know how much more of this I can take personally. Like, it's just like next episode better be freaking good, and then I'll sing its praises. But this episode just wasn't there for me. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm not looking forward to next week, but I'm hoping that change. I'm hoping to change my mind. All right, that's all I got for you guys. I'm sorry I rambled on a little bit too much, but I just wanted to just speak my piece and everything. Tell me, what did you guys think about this episode? Did you like it? Did you not like it? What was your favorite part? Do you think we're going to see Lex Luthor next episode? I hope so. He was cast. That guy from The Walking Dead. I don't remember the actor's name or the character that he played. The guy with the big mustache. Lex Luthor better not have a mustache. I mean, maybe he could. I don't know. They did a good job with his beard and bald head in Titan. So we'll see what iteration they come up with Lex Luthor in this episode. He might just have a full stack of red hair. You never know. But tell me what you guys think. Go ahead and leave all your comments in that section down below. If you like this video, go hit that like button. You know I won't mind. If you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate it. And I will see you guys on my next Superman and Lois breakdown and review. You guys have a good day. Bye.